The sky was not blue anymore. It had turned orange like fire. Their ships were huge, dark, and loud. They came through the clouds, covering the sun. The aliens called themselves the Volcran, tall, strong, cold-hearted. They wore silver armor and walked like kings. Their leader, General Krax, looked down at the Earth from his ship. He smiled. "Easy mission," he said. "These humans are soft." He was right about one thing. Humans looked weak. We sweated. We drank water every few hours. Our skin was soft, our bodies slow. The Volcran didn't sweat. They came from a frozen world, a planet covered in ice. On Earth, they marched into cities and jungles. They thought they were winning already. One soldier laughed and said, "Look at them. Wet skin, always breathing heavy. Disgusting." Another replied, "They can't even survive without shade. Their bodies are broken." But in a secret base underground, a group of human scientists were watching them. One of them, Dr. Lena, stood next to a screen showing alien movement. "They don't understand Earth," she said. "They don't understand heat." General Rafik stood behind her. His arms were crossed. He didn't smile. He only said, "Let them keep thinking we are weak." The humans didn't fight back. Not yet. The Volcran thought that was fear. But it was patience. Day 5 of the invasion. The Volcran spread out across Earth. Some went into forests, some into deserts. They didn't wear their full armor anymore. "Too hot," one said. In the desert, one alien soldier, Varl, took off his helmet. He felt his head spin. "Is the gravity broken here?" he asked. "No," said his partner. "But my legs feel heavy too." The sun above them was burning. Not just bright, angry. Back in space, General Krax was angry too. "Why are the soldiers slowing down?" he asked. "Send more units. Take control faster." But no one answered him. His communication screen showed static. Day 7. Inside the jungle, 3 alien soldiers lay on the ground. Not dead, but not moving. Their skin had changed color. Their bodies were shaking. "They're overheating," whispered Dr. Lena in her lab. "Their bodies were made for cold. Earth is burning them from the inside." General Rafik gave a small nod. "Don't send help," he told the command team. "Not yet. Let the heat do its job." Day 9. The Volcran soldiers began to die. One by one, quietly. It wasn't bullets. It wasn't bombs. It was heat. Their ships had no cooling systems for this kind of temperature. Their water tanks were small. They didn't understand what 45 degrees Celsius does to a cold-blooded body. One soldier tried to crawl into a human river. He drank the water too fast. He passed out. Another fell under a tree, gasping for air. His armor felt like fire on his skin. Still, the Volcran leaders refused to believe it. "Humans are weak," General Krax shouted. "They must be cheating." But the truth was simple. Earth was fighting back, not with guns, with heat. Final scene, suspense hook for part 2. That night, in the middle of the desert, one alien officer woke up alone. His team was gone. He walked for miles, looking for them. Then he saw something ahead. A human boy, no older than 10, standing under the moonlight. The boy held a bottle of water. He looked at the alien and smiled. "You're thirsty, huh?" the boy said. "Welcome to Earth." Then he poured the water onto the sand. The desert was silent. No gunshots, no screams, only the sound of wind and heat. Alien soldier Tarn dragged his feet across the sand. His armor was heavy. His skin felt like it was burning from the inside. He looked up. The sky was too bright. The twin suns of his home world were cold, distant. But Earth's sun was cruel. It stared down like an angry god. "I need water," Tarn whispered, but there was none. His team was gone. Suddenly, he saw movement ahead. A human boy, maybe 10 years old. The boy held a bottle of water and smiled. "You're thirsty, huh?" the boy said. Tarn reached out, desperate. The boy tilted the bottle and poured the water onto the sand. Tarn fell to his knees. The boy ran, and Tarn never got up again. Inside a human military bunker, General Rafik stood in front of a large map. Red dots showed alien forces. Many of those dots were now blinking or gone. Dr. Lena pointed at the desert zones. 70% of the Vulcan troops in heat zones are down, she said. They didn't prepare for Earth, Rafik said. They only prepared for us. Outside the bunker, the air was boiling. In cities, humans stayed underground or in cool zones. They had learned long ago how to live with the heat. The aliens had not. Vulcan warship orbiting Earth. General Krax paced inside the command room. His skin had darkened. Sweat dripped from his neck, something no Vulcan had ever experienced before. This planet is cursed, he growled. His second-in-command, Officer Yearn, showed him a report. Most soldiers in Zone 3 and Zone 5 have stopped responding. We suspect. Don't say it, Krax snapped. They are elite warriors. But they are dying, Yearn said quietly. From something invisible. No bullets. No bombs, just heat. Krax slammed his fist on the table. Then we fight in the cold. Focus our troops in the north. Mountains. Ice caps. Wherever the humans can't hide behind fire. Yearn nodded, but even he looked uncertain. Day 11 of the invasion. In the mountains of Alaska, a small human team watched the Vulcan land. They finally moved north, said Surgeon Kai. Took them long enough. Another soldier chuckled. Let's see how they handle cold nights and hot days. Even in the cold, the aliens didn't understand Earth. The weather changed fast. The sun still burned during the day, and the air was thin. One Vulcan squad reached a valley. They set up camp. They thought they were safe. That night, frost covered their armor. 2 soldiers froze in their sleep. By morning, 3 more were missing. Cut to a human broadcast station. A signal was sent across all channels. A message for the world. A human voice spoke calmly. They thought we were weak. They called us soft. They laughed at our bodies, our biology. But Earth is our home. It taught us pain. It taught us to survive. Now it's teaching them. Back to Vulcan command ship. General Krax watched footage of his soldiers collapsing. His eyes twitched. He had never lost a battle, not in 200 years. A scientist approached him. General, their biology is different. They are not weak. They are adapted to this planet. We are not. Krax looked away. We leave soon, before we lose the whole army. But it was already too late. Cliffhanger. End of part 2. In a jungle base, a human soldier stood over an unconscious alien. The alien's skin was cracked and dry like paper. The soldier radioed in. Command, this one is still alive. Bring him in, said the voice. We need to ask some questions. About what? The soldier asked. The voice answered. We want to know how many more are coming, and if they know what's waiting for them. The camera zooms in on the alien's face. His eyes open slowly, and he whispers, You're not weak. You're monsters. The jungle was loud with life, birds, insects, the hum of heat. But the Vulcan soldier couldn't hear any of it. His name was Zarn. His skin was cracked. His vision was blurry. He crawled through the dirt like a dying animal. Shade, he whispered. Just shade. His silver armor, once shining and clean, was now dull and dented. Pieces had been torn off to let the heat escape, but it didn't help. The air itself was like fire. He found a tree and collapsed beneath it, panting like a beast. His body wasn't made for this world. His kind never needed sweat, never needed to cool down. Their planet was ice. Earth was killing him slowly. Nearby, human jungle outpost. Sergeant Mayo wiped the sweat from her brow. Her team had been tracking Zarn's squad for days. Only 2 aliens were left alive. They're not running, she said. They're crawling. A soldier beside her laughed. They mocked us for sweating. Now look at them. They'd give anything to sweat like we do. Maya stared at the alien through her binoculars. Don't laugh, she said. Not yet. This one's still breathing. Inside human base, underground holding room. Another alien Vrel sat in a metal chair. His eyes were sunken. Tubes ran into his arms, feeding him water slowly. His skin was peeling. Dr. Lena stood in front of him. Why did you come here? She asked. Vrel looked up, barely able to lift his head. We thought you were weak. We are, Lena said quietly. We break bones. We get sick. We die. Vrel coughed. Then how? Are you still alive? Lena leaned closer. Because Earth is harder than all of us, and we listened to it. You didn't. Vrel closed his eyes. We didn't come to kill you. We came to take your world. Quietly. No war. Lena frowned. You failed. Vulcan warship, orbiting Earth. General Crack stood in silence. Only 12% of his ground troops remained. More and more ships were returning, but most carried no one. Just armor. Helmets. Dried blood. His pride had burned away with the heat. He no longer shouted. He didn't even speak unless needed. Officer Yearn entered. General, the survivors are requesting shade zones. They say they'll die without it. Cracks didn't answer. Should we send supplies? Still no answer. Yearn asked one more question. Should we retreat? This time Cracks turned slowly. No, not yet. Inside the jungle, Zarn's final hours. Zarn woke up to footsteps. He saw 3 humans standing around him, guns ready, faces calm. He didn't try to fight. Kill me, he said. Just end it. Maya stepped forward. We're not here to kill you. Zarn blinked. Then what? We want you to talk, she said. What else is coming? More ships. He laughed, a dry, broken sound. You think we'd send more? Earth is death. Maya crouched next to him. Then send that message. Tell them. Zarn looked at the jungle around him, so full of life, so full of danger. He whispered, You don't need weapons. You have the sun. Back in Human Command Center, Dr. Lena showed General Rafik the latest data. Most Vulcans still alive have moved underground, she said. Caves, bunkers, anywhere they can hide from the heat. They won't last long, Rafik replied. Their systems aren't made for this. Lena nodded. They begged for shade. They mocked our biology, but now they're praying for the things we were born with. Rafik stared at the map. Should we finish them? No, Lena said. Let Earth finish them. Cliffhanger ending for Part 4. In the Vulcan ship, General Krax opened a private message from their home planet. It said, Reinforcements are coming. Stronger soldiers. New tech. Prepare Earth for colonization. Krax read it twice. He looked out the window at the blue planet below, and for the first time he felt something new. Fear. He whispered to himself. They'll burn too. The sky above Earth cracked open like a giant wound. General Krax stood in the command room of his warship, staring at the incoming message. It was from the Vulcan High Command on his homeworld. Reinforcements are on the way. Stronger forces. New technology. Prepare Earth for colonization. Krax's fingers gripped the edge of the table, his knuckles white. His planet's army had always been powerful, but he had just lost most of his troops to Earth's heat. He had underestimated the planet, and now it was fighting back harder than ever. The sky is opening, Krax muttered. But we may never land. In the jungle. Maya's team had found Zarn's body in the morning. He had died in his sleep, curled up in the dirt beneath the tree. The jungle was thick with heat, and the air felt like it was about to melt. Maya crouched beside him. He died alone, she said, her voice soft. I think he knew he'd lose, said Surgeon Kai. Maya stood up and looked at her team. We've won this round, but the Vulcan won't stop. They never stop. As if on cue, a soldier on the radio called in. Command, we'd spotted incoming ships, big ones, hundreds of them. Maya's eyes hardened. She looked toward the horizon where the ships would land. Prepare for battle. But this time, we fight different. Vulcan warship, in orbit. On Krax's warship, the alien general paced back and forth. His armor was battered, his pride broken. He couldn't hide the nervousness in his voice anymore. "Report, officer," he barked. Yearn stepped forward. "The reinforcements are almost here, sir. But there's a problem." Krax turned. "What problem?" "The new technology. It's designed to fight the heat." Yearn hesitated. "We've never tested it on a planet like this. Earth's heat is different. It may not work." Krax slammed his fist on the control panel. "It has to work. We don't have a choice anymore." He turned to Yearn, his voice a low growl. "Prepare the fleet. We are not retreating." Human Command Center, underground base. Dr. Lena stood in front of a large screen, watching the flashing red dots. Vulcan ships were landing again. The first wave had failed, but now, the second wave was bigger, stronger. "We need to act fast," Rafik said, his voice tight. "They'll be ready for us this time." Lena stared at the map. The heat zones had wiped out most of their forces, but this time, the humans would need something more than just the sun. "What if we use their technology against them?" she suggested, looking up at Rafik. "We can hack into their systems, turn their tech into traps. If we can confuse their new reinforcements." Rafik nodded slowly. "It's a risk, but it might be our only chance." Lena's fingers flew over the keyboard, typing commands. The screen showed the Vulcan's tech schematics. "We can do this," she said, her voice steady. "We just need a distraction." The jungle, near Vulcan landing zone. The first of the Vulcan warships landed with a deafening roar. The ground trembled under the heavy impact. From the trees, Maya and her team watched, silent and still. They had no intention of fighting face to face this time. "This is it," Maya said quietly. "They land, and we strike. Stay hidden until the last moment." Kay's voice was low. "We've never seen this kind of tech before. What if it's enough to stop us?" "It won't be," Maya replied firmly. "We have something they don't. Adaptability. We fought this planet all our lives. We know it better than they ever will." Vulcan landing zone, surface. The alien soldiers began to unload, their new armor shining brightly in the sun. It was sleek, designed to resist heat. Their faces were hidden behind full-face helmets, giving them an almost ghostly appearance. One of the soldiers, Varric, stepped forward. His hands twitched as he adjusted the temperature controls on his suit. It was much cooler now. The armor systems kept him from overheating. "Earth may be hot," Varric muttered, "but we are better." As the troops moved into formation, the first human bombs exploded from hidden positions in the jungle. The blast was enough to throw off the Vulcan soldiers. They staggered, confused. "We've hacked their systems." Lena's voice came over the comms. "You have 5 minutes before they reset their controls." Maya's team was already moving through the jungle, setting traps and explosives in strategic positions. They had learned the Vulcan's weaknesses, and now they were going to use them. Varric's voice came through a crackling radio. "They're here. Spread out. Find them." But it was too late. Cliffhanger, end of Part 4. From a hidden position above the battlefield, Maya watched as the Vulcan soldiers struggled to adapt. The heat was still their biggest enemy. "They think they can survive," she whispered. But they're wrong. The human soldiers watched as the Vulcan tried to engage their new tech against the environment, but the jungle was unpredictable. The traps had already started to take effect, slowing the aliens down, overheating their suits. Then the sky darkened. Maya glanced up. Something else was coming. Bigger. Stronger. More reinforcements. And this time there would be no hiding from the real fight. The jungle was burning. Vulcan ships had landed deep in the heart of Earth's last green zones. Trees cracked and fell. Smoke filled the sky. Their machines were stronger now, cooling units, heat shields, advanced sensors. But Earth was still fighting back. And so were its people. Near the jungle edge, human camp. Maya stood over a table, tracing a map with her finger. They're closing in. We can't hold this place forever. Surgeon K looked around. Then we fall back? Maya shook her head. No, we fight here. This place is the last line. If they take this zone, they get control of the north route. From there, they reach the underground cities. She looked at her team. This is our last stand. Soldiers around her nodded. They knew what it meant. No retreat, no surrender, only survival. Vulcan command ship, new leader arrives. General Krax had been forced to step down. His failure in the first wave had cost him everything. Now a new leader had taken command, Commander Vrax, cold, calm, and calculating. He stood tall in front of the remaining troops. Earth is dangerous, he said. But we are stronger. We adapt. We survive. We conquer. He raised a hand. A hologram appeared, showing the final human defense line. Crush them. Leave nothing behind. Dr. Lena's lab, human underground base. Lena worked fast. The hacked Vulcan tech was giving her ideas. She had found a weakness. They're cooling suits, she said to herself. They need energy. A lot of it. But if we overload the heat sensors... She tapped a button. The system lit up. Boom, she whispered. They cook inside their own armor. She radioed Maya. I've got something. We can fry their suits remotely, but you need to lure them into Zone Red. Maya smiled. Leave that to me. The battle begins, Zone Red. Trees exploded. Dirt flew into the sky. Vulcan soldiers marched forward, their armor glowing with cold light. They looked like ghosts walking through fire. Maya's team hit them from all sides, snipers, traps, explosives. The jungle screamed with noise. Vulcan troops fell, but more kept coming. Lure them, Maya shouted. Get them to the ridge. Surgeon K threw a flare into the sky. The aliens followed it, believing it was the humans escaping. They rushed into Zone Red. Maya gave the signal. Lena now. Dr. Lena, control room. Lena pressed the override code. A signal shot through the air, hijacking the Vulcan suits. In seconds, their systems glitched. The cooling units shut down. Inside the suits, the temperature shot up. 40 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Celsius. The aliens screamed, some tore off their armor. Some collapsed, choking on the heat. Their tech was strong, but Earth was stronger. Commander Vrax, watching the feed. From his command ship, Vrax watched in horror as hundreds of soldiers fell in minutes. What did they do? He growled. Human interference, said an officer. They hacked the suits. Vrax stared at Earth. Then we fight the old way. No more suits. No more tech. We bring fire. He turned to his officer. Burn the jungle. Burn everything. Final hours. The jungle burns. The sky turned red. Flames rolled over the trees like waves. Maya's team was still fighting. Smoke filled their lungs. The ground shook under the blasts. Surgeon Kai fell wounded. Maya dragged him to cover. We can't hold this much longer, he said weakly. Maya looked at the burning forest. No, she said, but we can slow them down. Long enough for the world to strike back. Worldwide broadcast. The human message. At the same time, Dr. Lena sent a global message through every signal tower. A human voice spoke. They thought we would break. But we burned and stood. We were born on a planet of storms and fire. You do not scare us. And if this is our last stand, we will make it yours too. Cliffhanger ending, end of part 5. Commander Vrax prepared his final wave. No armor, no machines, just raw alien fury. But as his army dropped to the surface, something else began to rise. Earth itself. Volcanoes erupted in the distance. Earthquakes shook the ground. The planet had awakened. Maya looked up at the darkening sky. "Something's changing," she said. "The planet is answering." Behind her, thunder rolled across the sky. The final battle was coming. The sky cracked open with a roar of thunder. It wasn't just a storm, it was the planet fighting back. Volcanoes erupted in the distance, lava pouring down the sides like rivers of fire. Earthquakes shook the ground, splitting the earth open, sending tremors through the battlefield. Maya's team had been fighting for hours. The jungle was almost gone, burnt to ash, and the Volcran were everywhere. But now something had changed. The heat from the volcanoes, the tremors in the ground, it was as if Earth itself had woken up. "Get down!" Maya shouted as another wave of Volcran soldiers charged forward. Their suits were gone now. They were no longer protected by their technology. The heat from the planet was their enemy now. They were just soldiers, flesh and bone. The humans had learned to survive here. The Volcran had not. Volcran command ship, high orbit. Commander Vrax stood at the center of his ship, watching the chaos below. His soldiers were falling one by one. Earth's forces were holding strong, and the planet was punishing them with its fury. "We need to stop this," Vrax muttered, his mind racing. "The planet is fighting back." "Sir," said an officer, "the surface is impossible to reach. We can't land without losing our fleet. We're too exposed. We need to retreat." "No," Vrax shouted. "We can't retreat. Earth is almost ours. The human resistance is small. We have the advantage." But his eyes flickered with doubt. His soldiers were weakening. The air was too hot. The ground was shaking. Everything was falling apart. On the ground, the final push. Maya, bloodied and tired, stood tall amidst the chaos. The Volcran were not the only ones who had changed. Humans had adapted too. They had fought in the heat, through storms, through every disaster that Earth had thrown at them. But now, it was their time to strike back. "We can't win by hiding," Maya said to her team, her voice raw but full of determination. "We've got one chance to end this. We push forward, together." She waved her hand, signaling the attack. The human forces stormed forward through the burning jungle, dodging explosions and falling debris. The Volcran were scattered, confused. They hadn't expected this kind of resistance. They were out of their element. Maya's squad moved swiftly, cutting through the Volcran ranks with precision. They had the advantage of the land now. The Earth was their ally. They knew the terrain, the traps, the paths. The Volcran didn't. The battle reaches the command ship. In the distance, a massive Volcran ship hovered in the sky, ready to launch a final strike against the planet. But Maya's team had made it their goal to stop the fleet once and for all. They knew the weakness of the alien ships now. Nothing could survive the heat and tremors of Earth's full fury. Maya raised her weapon and pointed toward the sky. "That's our target." "Are you sure?" Kai asked, his voice strained. "We don't have a choice," Maya said. "If we don't take them down now, they'll destroy everything." The team set out toward the Volcran command ship, dodging explosions as the planet itself seemed to fight the invaders. The volcanoes erupted again, ash raining down from the sky, thickening the air. As they reached the edge of the command ship's landing zone, Maya saw the massive gunships firing into the ground below. The Volcran were preparing for their final assault. "Now," Maya shouted. They moved in quick. A combination of hand grenades, explosives, and quick strikes disabled the Volcran's outer defenses. The aliens fought back fiercely, but the heat from the planet, the shaking Earth, it was too much. The Volcran ships began to break apart. Systems overloaded. Their shields failed. Commander Vrax's last stand. On the command ship, Commander Vrax realized too late that his victory was slipping away. "Activate the shields," he ordered, his voice panicked, but it was no use. The ship's systems were already down. Vrax's soldiers tried to fight back, but the temperature was rising. Even with their advanced tech, the heat was too much to bear. Frex turned to see the human forces approaching. Maya and her team were unstoppable now, closing in on the bridge. "This is the end," he whispered. The ground shook again, a violent tremor that sent everything into chaos. The ship's systems sputtered. Then the final blow. Maya launched a missile into the ship's core. The explosion was massive. The ship ripped apart, sending fire and debris raining down from the sky. The aftermath. The battle was over. Earth had won. Maya stood among the wreckage, her chest heaving. The ground was still shaking, the smoke rising into the sky. But the fighting was over. The Vulcan were gone. Earth had struck back, and it had won. The jungle, though damaged, would heal. The planet would recover. "Is it over?" Kai asked, his voice quiet. Maya looked around, taking in the silence. The screams of battle were gone. The land was still burning. But now there was peace, at least for now. "It's over," Maya said, her voice steady. "Earth has spoken." Cliffhanger, final lines. But as the smoke cleared, a new signal appeared in the sky. A ship, different from the Vulcan fleet, hovered in the atmosphere. It was ancient, its design unlike anything seen before. And on the broadcast screen, a voice echoed across Earth's communication network. "We've been watching. You have proven your strength. But this is just the beginning." Maya's heart sank. The battle for Earth was far from over.